My name is Sridhar R. I'm a partner in tax services in Grant Thornton Bharat LLP. Given India's thrust to promote domestic manufacturing and services, the introduction of the Development of Enterprise and Services Hub Act or the DESH Act to replace and widen the scope of the Special Economic Zone Act of 2005 has been widely seen as a welcome move. There has been much anticipation around this proposal ever since the Honorable Finance Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, stated the government's intent to bring about this change while presenting the Union Budget of 2022. DESH, at its draft level, introduces new concepts and ideas for government to promote Make in India and Serve from India. For example, it promotes the setting up of enterprise hubs that allow promotion, focus, and provision of special infrastructure required for special projects and industries such as the aerospace, defense, renewable energy, etc. A key expectation from this year's budget is that it will maintain status quo with respect to principles established for SEZ's qua indirect taxes such as a customs duty and GST. There's also a strong case for developers and units of these hubs to be made eligible for the concessional tax rate of 15% that has been provided to new manufacturing units. DESH introduces a concept of a negative list of activities that would be prohibited in the DESH hub. This is a very welcome move, and we have seen success of transition to a negative list in the case of foreign direct investment, which in 1998 moved away from an approval regime to a regime where activities were permitted unless expressly stated in the negative list. A similar move in the DESH law will promote entrepreneurs to set up units in development hubs for unique, value-added and innovative propositions such as agriculture, food processing, contract manufacturing, processing, value-added trading, defense, arms and ammunitions, aerospace, etc. So we believe that the time is right to push for the above changes, and DESH is something that we would like the government to push along with the above suggestions around tax regime. This will go a long way in realizing India's dream to becoming the third largest economy by 2030. India is now the third largest startup ecosystem globally with 100 plus unicorns and over 79,000 startups recognized by the Government of India through the DPIIT. There are a few key expectations of the startup community in particular from the budget that the Honorable Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman will be presenting on 1st February. I will talk about three key expectations. One, there is an anticipation that a single window approval mechanism for startups to claim tax and regulatory incentives will be operationalized. For instance, today it takes a distinct set of applications to A, get recognized as a startup by the DPIIT, which has a distinct set of eligibility criteria, and B, thereafter make separate applications to the income tax department to claim tax benefits such as the tax holiday as well as the exemption from angel tax. These exemptions have distinct conditions as well that need to be monitored separately, resulting in a complex and a duplicated regime in that sense. A single window clearance with a common set of conditions can help companies save a lot of time and effort in compliance and make the benefits more meaningful. Second, there is a strong expectation that there will be harmonization of the capital gains tax regime in itself. Currently, as you know, capital gains on sale of shares of unlisted companies is taxed at 20% or the applicable slab rate depending on the period of holding of such shares, that is more than 24 months or less than that. In comparison, a 10% rate is applicable for long-term gain for shares in a listed company. The period of holding for qualifying for the long-term rate is also a lower threshold of 12 months in the case of a listed share. Certainly, a harmonization of the tax rates to bring it to, say, the 10% rate for long term on a consistent basis across listed and unlisted securities, as well as across resident and non-resident investors, will go a long way in promoting the investment regime particularly for unlisted companies that are typically the case in the case of startups. Thirdly, measures to clarify a tax neutral overseas merger or reorganization of foreign companies that are owned by Indian investors will allow greater flexibility for overseas acquisitions as well as pave the way for overseas listing as well of the Indian company. So in other terms, the overseas direct listing regime as well. Reform in these areas will eventually lead to building a robust platform and ecosystem for startups in India. And one hopes that this budget will resolve these issues.